Hey gang, it's me, Dr. Steve. I hope you're having a great start to your weekend. I know I am, but I just wanted to give a quick response to the release of the radically redacted affidavit for that the FBI used to raid Mar-a-Lago. When I first saw some of the pages that were entirely blacked out, I thought it was one of those facetious memes, that came out over the last couple of weeks. And lo and behold, the FBI and the DOJ are just quite literally living caricatures of themselves at this point. If you haven't seen it, you can go to Sean Davis's Twitter feed. He posted some images of the redactions. They're absolutely hilarious, if not sad. So what's the reaction that we're seeing out there? Well, first and foremost, the way the affidavit was just slaughtered with any sense of transparency because of the black ink, it's a huge blow to the feckless rhino neocons like Eye Patch McCain in their futile attempts at defending the FBI. I mean, the only way such a defense could even remotely have any semblance of plausibility is that the FBI and the DOJ were totally transparent here in terms of exactly what President Trump was supposedly doing wrong that merited that raid. We got the opposite. This is a cover-up that can literally be seen with the absurd state of that affidavit. We knew ahead of time going into this that this was going to be a very, very redacted version, the affidavit released to the public. We knew that there would be nothing to embarrass the FBI or the Justice Department or this radically left magistrate, this guy Reinhardt, who signed the warrant for the raid. He's not even a judge. He is to judges what nurse practitioners are to doctors. No insult intended, of course, to our wonderful nurse practitioners out there. So I never thought we were going to go anywhere with this affidavit. But now that it's out, the assessment is pretty unanimous. The assessment among those who haven't drunk the woke Kool-Aid, that is. The affidavit as it stands affirms what we all knew. The raid was an absolute and complete joke, and only those who have fully embraced the weaponization of the law against their political enemies could possibly support this. I checked out what the lawyer Robert Barnes had to say on this, and I think he said it beautifully, and I'm paraphrasing him, but when all is said and done, the feds claim that Trump committed a crime he legally, constitutionally could not have possibly committed. The feds are accusing Trump of committing a crime that constitutionally he could not have committed. And they use that accusation as an excuse to raid his home. And I would add they did that knowing that CNN and MSNBC and the New York Times would give them 24/7 cover by inventing speculative stories rooted in the pretext that Orange Man bad. I mean, I encountered it recently, with some loved ones who unfortunately have drunk rather heavily from the Kool-Aid, shall we say. As far as they're concerned, anything the FBI and the DOJ does with Trump is justified on the face of it, because Trump is obviously bad. I mean, that's the logic when all's said and done. So the feds knew that they would have 24/7 coverage in their fledgling legacy media among their dwindling and Democrat-dominated audience to accuse a president of a crime he legally cannot commit as an excuse to raid his house. I've said this before. How can this make any sense when it involves looking for classified documents in the residence of the one man who has the power to declassify anything he wants? I mean, I'll say it again because I think it's at the very heart of this absurdity. This raid, when all is said and done, was all about seizing classified documents from the residence of the one man who has the power to declassify anything he wants. This is why it's so unprecedented. It's unprecedented because, at least for our predecessors who could actually put logical thoughts together, this would have made no sense. But actually, the only way it does make sense, as I've pointed out to others who are still infected with Trump derangement syndrome, the only way this raid does make sense is that if a bunch of unelected bureaucrats in the deep state and in our intelligence agencies have the ultimate power to classify, rather than the chief executive democratically elected by the people. That's the only way this whole thing makes any sense, as stated, that is. It's only if unelected, undemocratic bureaucrats are the ones who have the ultimate say on what's classified or non-classified, rather than a democratically elected president. So as far as the legacy media is concerned, and their incessant cheerleading over all of this, They are ironically on the side of autocracy. They are cheerleaders for unelected, permanent deep state bureaucrats having the ultimate decision-making authority in all matters of classified documents. Donald Trump, as a duly elected president, violated that classification authority by the unelected and is therefore a legitimate target for an FBI raid. And there you are. So the beauty in all of this macabre banana republic insanity is that Trump has indeed been vindicated. Both the FBI warrant and the affidavit upon which it was based are collectively a massive dud. They bombed. And now the question is, how far is the deep state, along with their cheerleaders in the mainstream media, how far are they going to take this? And again, the good news is that the farther they take this, the stronger Trump becomes. That's the beauty of being the leader of a populist movement against the permanent political class. The more the establishment tries to take you out, the more they prove that you are their ultimate enemy. The more they try to persecute Trump, the more they prove that it's Trump that they ultimately fear. Nothing galvanizes a populist revolt more than that. And I can assure you, tens upon tens of millions of patriots all across the country are ready. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You will definitely want to check out my latest video on how Biden's student debt scam is already backfiring. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on that link and I'll see you over there. Have a wonderful weekend, gang. God bless.